Chapter 50. Ducking Smoothly. I got back home sometime after 4 a.m. I must have woken up Leslie because she was waiting for me when I came out of the bathroom. "Why are you home?" her asked, her eyes more shut than open. I gave her the short version. We lost. "I thought Trap never loses," she said. I had thought the same thing. "Don't be stupid," I said. "Does that mean you're not going to nationals?" she asked. No. I mean, yes. I don't know. I can't deal with double negatives at 4:30 in the morning. Mrs. Mahoney called the next day, the same day, technically, and said that Mr. Trapp would not be needing my services for 2 weeks. He had to save his strength and wouldn't play again until the Nationals. I took that as good news. At least he still planned to play for the championship. By the way, speaking of my services, he never paid me for the regional. I was supposed to get $300. 4 sessions is $75 a session. Not that I'm complaining, it was just a thought that crossed my mind, so I reported it to you. Yes, I realized he bought me a car. No, I wasn't planning to sue him. Sorry, I never should have mentioned it. Theodora had Trapp on a liquid diet, designed to rid his system of toxins and contaminants. My mother called it cleaning the plumbing. Or maybe those were Mrs. Mahoney's words. She told my mother, and my mother told me that Uncle Lester was having bathroom issues. I could describe these issues to you more fully. My mother was very descriptive, but I think we've already entered the zone of too much information. My parents must have thought these bathroom issues were serious, because they asked me yet again if I had spoken to Uncle Lester about his will. I lied. He said we'll be taken care of, I told them, hoping this would put an end to their nagging. Will be taken care of? My father repeated. What does that mean? I guess we'll find out when he's dead, I said. Don't be crude, said my mother. Monday, 5 days after the regional, I was staring at my phone in my hand, thinking about calling Tony. Since Trap wouldn't be playing on Thursday, I wondered if she might want to play with me again. I was also wondering if I should call Cliff first, but I didn't think I had to. Tony and I were just bridge partners, I told myself. Nothing more, nothing less. The phone went off in my hand. I brought it to my ear without waiting for the name to appear on caller ID. Hello? Hi, said the voice on the other end. It's funny how many changes you can go through in the half second it takes for someone to say hi. It was a girl's hi, high-pitched and full of energy. My heart jumped as I initially thought. Tony! Then in that same half second, my brain registered the voice. My heart still fluttered around a bit as I realized who it was, but I think that was mostly out of habit. Hi, Katie, I said. So what you been up to? She asked me. Oh, you know, the usual, I said, playing bridge with old people. She laughed, or at least pretended to. My statement was probably total nonsense to her. I doubted Cliff had told her about my uncle or how I was spending the summer. I doubted she and Cliff had ever talked about me at all. So how was the movie? She asked. I didn't hesitate. I certainly didn't ask. What movie? It was pretty good, I asked. Kind of stupid, but I liked it. I figured that would cover most movies. Cliff didn't like it. Yeah, well, he likes things that are deep, said Katie. You and I are more shallow. She quickly added that I didn't mean that in a bad way. Cliff's just very intense. You're more whatever. Whatever, I said. Katie laughed. Can I ask you something? You just did, I pointed out. She ignored my not-so-clever remark. I want you to be completely honest, she said. You owe me that. I didn't see how I owed her anything, but didn't argue at this point. Is Cliff seeing someone else? Again, I didn't hesitate. Of course not, Katie, I assured her. Why would you think that? Oh, I don't know. When you're playing bridge, the slightest hesitation can give away your position. Let's say the declarer leads a jack and you have the queen. If you think a while, then play a low card, the declarer will know you have the queen. But if you duck smoothly, he might think your partner has the queen. When Katie asked me about the movie and about whether Cliff was seeing anyone, I ducked smoothly. We used to have fun, didn't we? She asked, changing the subject. Yep. How did we let ourselves drift apart? I stared at the phone a moment, then brought it back to my ear. I don't know, I said. These things happen. We should get together again sometime. I'm not sure that's such a good idea, I said. Cliff gets jealous easily. Really? She asked, her voice brightening. I guess you're right. You're such a good friend, Alton. After hanging up with Katie, I lay on my bed and stared at the ceiling. Maybe I was a good friend, maybe I wasn't. I would have been a better friend if I'd stopped thinking so much about Tony. Even when I lied to Katie, I realized that was just as much for my benefit as it was to protect Cliff. I definitely wanted to keep Cliff and Katie together. There was a depth of soul in Tony that Katie lacked. Although I guess my own depth of soul was questionable, since I was the one who had fallen so hard for Katie not that long ago. I heard a knock, then sat up as my mother walked into the room. "I just got off the phone with Mrs. Mahoney," she said, her voice trembling just a bit. She stared vacantly, then came over and touched my face with her hand. "Uncle Lester has passed away." She sat down on the bed beside me.